And I'm normally not biased like this in these battles, but this year I am. In the castle, in the actual town of Hertogenbosch, we see the Spanish. Give us a wave over there. Hey, senor. Hola. Hola, senor. If you're Spanish or French, give me a wave. Come on. Huh? Nothing? Oh, I see you don't speak English. Sorry. No habla es inglés, ¿sí? They're wearing earplugs because they're firing cannons. Can the Spanish and the French please give me a wave? See, these guys here. This is the town of Hertogenbosch. This is a fairly serious sized town. I think before the battle they had a population of around 6,000. Trust me, it's less than half that by the end of this. It's a fairly large city. It's surrounded by walls and fortified towers. It's a very important point for the Dutch army, who you've just seen marched in, to capture this city. They're going to spend the next 2 days here doing that. The actual siege took place in 1629. It lasted for 3 months. It started in late May and it finished on September the 14th. Now, why do I stress that date? Well, it's one of my daughter's birthdays, but that's not important. The reason is because early in the morning of September the 11th, a large section of those city walls suddenly exploded and collapsed because these guys had successfully managed to dig trenches close enough to the city walls for what they call sappers. For the science heads, first toroidal vortex of the day. I gotta love science. That's called a toroidal vortex. It's not a Gandalf smoke ring. Shut up. Learn some science, kids. Stay at school. Read a book. The armoured, cannons on tanks or machine guns. Those blanks are a bit louder because they're a brass cartridge. The powder's stuck inside. It makes more of a bang noise, but it's still not as loud as real life. One of the things I miss about Ironfest every year is that smell in the air. Between horse shit and gunpowder, I love it. Now the observant amongst you will notice that lined up with the Dutch, you can probably see a couple of Scotsmen. I'm not kidding, there should be a couple of guys in kilts over there, aren't you? Am I imagining guys in kilts? There's one right there in the middle. He's reloading his matchlock now. So the Dutch forces employed or were allied to the British in this particular war. We don't root for the English, but in this case they were the good guys because they were helping the Dutch. And they also had Scottish mercenaries operating in their artillery, firing their cannons. The Spanish, lurking behind the castle walls, have got some French allies. We'll forgive them. Nice. Yeah, close. So in the real siege, I may as well try and sum up some of the history. Walls, huge towers. They thought it would never be able to be just defeated by an ordinary army because the technology of the day meant that you very slowly dug salient trenches at an angle towards the wall so that you could bring guys closer and closer with small cannons and little mortars so they could blow the walls down. You could send a few brave idiots in that could actually undermine the walls with tunnels and plant explosives under the walls to bring them down. They thought that would be impossible because the city was surrounded by water, didn't they? So what did the Dutch do? They built a 30-kilometre long wall around the entire town. Right, and then another dike on the other side of that. They used horse-powered mills to drain all of the water out of the polder so that the land around the city itself became drier so they could start moving their armies in and their artillery in. It took 3 months to do this.